this might be a non-starter. That's why. So not long ago, I was in the saxophone mecca of sax.co.uk hanging out with Jim Cheek, and we compared what it would be like to play the softest reed in the shop with the hardest reed in the shop, and how both those reeds would perform on the narrowest tip opening they had and the widest tip opening. The results are really going to be quite interesting, as you'll see, so stay tuned. We have got the Jody Jazz HR 5-star with a 1.5, was it?
Yes.
Which is the softest reed in the shop, I believe. It's a 1.5 reed, suitable for beginners, kids.
Typically beginners, yeah. It's very rare that you get experienced players sticking with the 1.5. It does happen on a few rare occasions, but mainly it's, as you say, beginners, kids.
In fact, you could argue this is, if somebody was their first day on saxophone, you might say the 1.5 reed.
Why not?
So, let's attempt to play anyway. All right, so that took a bit of adjusting.
Well, the notes were there.
The notes were there, and you know, if nothing else, it goes to show that as a complete novice, you can get a perfectly good sound.
Yeah, I agree. The sound is pleasant. It's definitely not a multi-dimensional sound. It's a sort of one sound, and it's a nice tenor sound, because these are good mouthpieces after all. Yeah. It's a good quality brand of reed as well. But clearly you've just not got that breadth or scope in the sound, and your ability to manipulate it is seriously compromised.
Yeah, that's I couldn't put it better myself. Right, we're now going to do the same setup, but instead of a 1.5 reed, we've got a number 5 reed, which is the hardest reed in the shop. I'm just going to switch it over. We should say that there is a precedent for small tip openings with hard reeds and wide tip openings with soft reeds. In fact, that's the general rule of thumb, isn't it?
It can be a generalisation. I tend to find that the soft reed wide tip mouthpiece thing suits more sort of jazzers a little bit more, and that what you get is that you get the big fat sound, and then you get that softness when you're playing softly. You get all the nice sort of fuzzy stuff. And then classical players, conversely, with that hard reed, you just get that absolute bite and control. And when you really push it, because of course with the smaller tip opening, if you've got a soft reed, it all just sort of collapses on you at the top, which is what you kind of found there in that first test. But with the harder reed and that extra resistance, it holds up against the tip opening, so the embouchure, the aperture stays the same. So you get that sort of control and that evenness throughout the whole scale. Okay, here we go. This is the 5-star mouthpiece with the number 5 reed. This is a world first for me, because I've never played a number 5 reed in my life. That's why. I couldn't resist the double F, because that's all I can get.
That was a disaster, wasn't it?
Yep. Absolutely. You really were.
I think there's only
there, were you?
there's only one zone that worked, and that's the double extreme altissimo.
Yeah. No, exactly. I mean, I would tag on to this that just in the defence of slightly harder reads here, that and we kind of said this off camera, that this is just the first number 5 read that you picked out. So you might find that the next 5 read you pick out, you get slightly better results because the cane varies, of course.
Yeah.
The other thing is it's a Vandoren 5. So Vandoren 5 is kind of equivalent to an even harder, like Rico Royal, for example.
Oh, right.
5.5 or
It
so.
could be 5.5.
So
Yeah.
it's really doing, this on the softest to this on the on the hardest read. So
I've never had a read that I couldn't subtone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a complete fail. Please do make sure that you check out my Saxophone Success Masterclass, which you can see linked there, or click the link in the description. It is a free masterclass. Help yourself, just fill in your email, and you will be able to instantly improve your practice and up your skills on saxophone. Now we've got the Jody Jazz HR 9-star with a 1.5 read, which could be quite a promising combo. So let's have a little listen. Pretty good.
That's not bad.
I can see why there's, people sometimes say, oh yeah, for jazz you get the bigger tip opening and softer reed, and you get the kind of that fat kind of juiciness. I can see how that's a thing.
Yeah. But it's just a case of the balances, isn't it? 1.5's taking it too far.
Yeah.
So perhaps maybe more 2.5 might get you closer to that ideal. Because the thing about it is you have an easy life. You can say, hey, I play a 9-star, and everyone's like, how do you do it? Well, the secret is I play a 2 reed, and then anything, it's just easy going, but you still get that big sound.
Did you hear that pop?
Yeah, that was nice. You've probably ruined your reed now.
Final test, which is the 9-star with the 5 reed. This might be a non-starter. It was hard enough using my normal reed. That went slow.
Kettle's boiled. Stop that. Is that enough, Jamie? Is that enough?
My lip is blown. My embouchure is absolute toast after that. God, that would be a good exercise, though. Once a week, if you just tried to play for 10 minutes like that, wow, you'd come back with such a strong embouchure, I reckon.
Yeah, it's kind of like going to the gym and just going over to the 100k sections. Let's just give it a go, and then you walk out going, what did I just do to myself?
That was insane. So that was the 5 of the 9-star, which was another failed experiment. I'm actually quite pleased I managed to get a single noise at all.
Yeah. Well,
I'm going to, give myself some saxophone kudos for that, but it wasn't a lot of fun.
No, I mean, there's not a whole load that we need to say about that. It's pretty obvious to you guys out there that it's the two just aren't marrying up.
No.
And I really doubt that setup would work for anyone, because you know how to blow down a saxophone and put a shed load of air down it. And I think those guys who do use those bigger tips, and you can go a fair bit beyond the 9 stars we were discussing off camera. Some players go 10, 11, 12 star, even higher. But they're not going to use the Vandoren 5 reed, because it just doesn't work.
It doesn't work. You're right. But it's been a fascinating experiment. As always, it's an absolute pleasure to be down here at the Saxophone Mecca. I would encourage anybody who's in London to come in and visit the store. Everything apart from my Mark 6 saxophone that you've heard is for sale. All these mouthpieces, reeds and ligatures. So come on down and fill your boots. Give yourself a day to do it, because it's this place is a lot of fun. So thanks a lot, Jim.
Thank you, Jamie. It's been a pleasure as well.
So that's all we've got time for this week. I hope you had a fantastic time watching this video with me battling that absolute plank and the little tissue paper reed as well. It's a lot of fun and actually quite interesting to see how those reeds marry with the different tip openings and what the effect is on your sound. Okay, like I mentioned earlier, go and check out the free Saxophone Success Masterclass that you can see linked there. That is a lot of fun and you're going to get a lot of benefit from that. There's also bonus footage inside my Inner Circle membership, which is just an awesome place full of very enthusiastic saxophonists just like you. It's a very low price for what the content is inside there. And oh my God, there's just so much good stuff in there, like the guests, the monthly content, the bonus YouTube video. I could go on, but why don't you go and check it out for yourself? And there's a free 7-day trial. So, you know, nothing ventured, nothing gained. You can always leave after a week if you don't like it, but you will. Okay. And finally, if you bought me a coffee, I really, really appreciate that. As always, I say it every week, but I mean it every week. You guys are so generous, and it's lovely to hear from you and hear all your comments as well. Until next week, make sure that you practice hard, practice smart, and enjoy your music. See you later.